welcome. I'm just so excited to share this with you. We're kind of continuing a little bit from Tuesday night, but I wanted to kind of backtrack just a little bit and show you where the inspiration came from. I told you that I had tried, we made 129, and 129 is this one right here. We made it in a glitzy little knit and this stripe, and I love this t-shirt on, just absolutely love it on. And I had mentioned that I had seen it in two different fabrics and that I wanted to try it in two different fabrics. So I'm going to backtrack to that a little bit, and I'm going to tell you this is the photo that I saw originally that was the two different fabrics. And this is Akris. And you know, typically in designers, when you have both names, it's higher priced. So with Giorgio Armani is the highest price. With Michael Kors, that's the high, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Akris, though, is an acronym, and I don't remember what it stands for. You can look it up. But Akris is the highest level. Akris Punto is a mid-level. And when I say mid, they're all expensive. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, so I found this dress, and you can see that it's really close to 129. So, and it's two colors. So that's what started my mind thinking. I had actually seen this, and the colors, you can look it up online because it's sold out. It's sold out. It's $3,000 on sale for $1,800. It's still sold out. And it's a silk. It's not a knit. It's a woven. So I want to kind of go through this process and it's just so much fun. I've just had so much fun with this, and I'll explain why. So what I like about it is that you can see it's the two tones. It's a dress, and it has a tie just like what you're looking at. It's black and gray. I didn't like the black and gray. I didn't like the combination of the black and gray, and I didn't want a dress. I wanted it shorter so that I could just wear it with my regular leggings. But what it got me thinking was that in this typical pattern, the 129, I could actually make it two fabrics, and I hadn't ever, for whatever reason, thought about it could be two fabrics, which is like, duh, there's three pieces that make up the front and then the back and then a sleeve. I don't know, I just didn't. So this is sleeveless, and I wanted a sleeve, and then I started thinking, but I really wanted black and white. So then again, it was a breakdown of what do I want black and what do I want white. But also recognize that the two colors that you put together are just unlimited. So today we're putting up all kinds of colors of fabrics that are great mix and matches that will really make a great top for you. So let's look at the next picture, because what I wanted to do, and there's a lot of information on this, so I'll go through it all, is I wanted to have you recognize how to shorten it. So what I wanted to do on this one, this tie is lower, it's like a little bit hip level. I wanted to bring it up and make it more waist level. So what I did first off, if you look at this picture and look at piece number 1 and number 2, there's a black line, or I don't know if it's black, there's a line going through those two, and it says shorten 2 inches. So I made a 1-inch fold tuck, because there's 1 inch on each side, and I shortened that. And if you notice, it's under the armhole in both pieces. And when you do that, you'll get a little jag. Just smooth out the jag. Most of the time when you get a jag, you'll take the upper piece, the lower piece, and just connect the two. The jag kind of goes out somewhere in between. But it doesn't really matter. It's a small area. How you connect it, you can't screw it up that bad. So just make that pleat across. So that makes the front portion now smaller or shorter than the back. I wanted the top still to be the same length. So if you look at piece number 2, where you add the 2 inches back, and piece number 3, those are the length of the top. Those two places are the length of the top. So if you wanted to make a dress out of it, you could just add to piece number 2, add to piece number 3, and then add to piece number 4, which is the back, and add the same amount to all those 3 places. So this is really fun because it really takes this pattern and just mixes it all up and makes it so different. All right, but then what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it black and white. And the two fabrics I'm using, this black ribbing, gosh, I don't have it here. You'll find the black ribbing. It's new up. But the white is 44.65. So they're both 100% cotton knit. What I wanted the black ribbing is because it had some texture, and the white is just very light. It would tie very well. So those were all things that I was looking for in that particular piece. They're just a nice blend. Different textures, but they blend really nicely. So some of the fabrics we're putting up today, they're like a black velvet and a green velvet. It'd be beautiful, dressy in velvets. You could mix two colors together. It'd be just gorgeous. Then we have one fabric that's like white holey. And if it was holey here and where all the white parts are, that would be okay too. So just use your imagination on putting two fabrics together and really have fun with it. Again, I did the band, so you can see piece number 1 is white. That's this piece right here. Piece number 2 is black. Piece number 3 is this piece that comes over here. It's white also, so it kind of tied in the middle and it was white. And then 4 is the back. And if you just look back, we won't put it up again, but if you look back to the picture on the back, it was a diagonal on the back, and I love that diagonal, so I did do that diagonal. But I'm going to show you this picture here in a minute, and it'll show you a picture of the back. But before we go there, when you draw those two, the line of the back, so here's the back piece. The back piece is cut on the fold, and what I did is I just opened it up, and I decided the bigger piece was going to be black, the smaller piece was going to be cut white, and I did this side up and this side up so that when you go to cut it out, you won't get confused. When you go to decide where across this is, use this front piece. Over here. Use the front piece. Remember, the width of this here is how you're going to divide the shoulder seam because that's where it goes to. And then on the bottom, it doesn't matter. I drew a line. Let's look at this next picture, and then we'll come back if we need to. I drew a line right down center back, so you can just, it doesn't matter how that line goes at the bottom, but at the top it does because you want the seams to match at the shoulder. And so you want them to be the same amount up here, and then how it splits out in the back, it really doesn't make a difference. But just go past center front, just go from asymmetric to the one side. So going back to the pattern piece page, sorry to jump around so much here, is I circled the two shoulders so that you could understand. That page is all the little details that you want to make sure you do, that those two places line up together and you understand which is black and which is white, and that's why I labeled them. Just to make sure I wasn't wrong, it took me a while to figure out that if this piece was black, this bigger piece was black, so that when you turn, that whole side is black and that sleeve is black. And then this whole side is white and the sleeve is white. Okay? Now again, you can do it any way you want. It does take a little while to go through and figure it all out, at least what I wanted. When you go to do what you want, it'll be fun to change how you want it. I made the neckband white because again, I wanted that contrast. I wanted the eye moving all over. If you don't have the white contrast, you can see that the eye goes more so to here, where the contrast here at the neckline brings it back up. So that's why I did the contrast. All right, so you've got your fabric, and you've got your pattern, and you've got your pieces. I want to talk sewing for a minute. So I had to change thread 3 times. And the reason you have to change thread is you don't want to hem the black sleeve in white, and you don't want to hem the white sleeve in black. And the hem, when you go around, the hem for a little section, and I'll show you a picture of this hem. This next picture is the hem. Those circles there, you can see where you hem white all the way around, but there's a little black section. And I think nothing looks cheaper faster than hemming it all the way around in one color, especially when there's only one time you have to change it. So I have 2 sergers. I had a white serger and a black serger, so I did change up sergers, and I know that's cheating. But when I came to the sewing machine, when I put the sleeve in, I left the white. I had the black on. I did all the black first, and then I came back and just hemmed the white. So I had to change it just 3 times. One, the original, then I had to change it, then I had to go back to the original. So again, it's no big deal. It's fun to make, and it's fun to have it right, and it's fun to have it hemmed appropriately. Again, I would feel really silly if I had a white stitch on there. I would feel lazy, I guess is probably what I would feel. But keep in mind, if you do 2 things, like if you had a gray and a black, to do the whole thing in a black thread, I don't think is a big deal. Or if you have 2 colors that kind of blend nicely together, I don't think it matters. But when you're doing black on white, I think it's such a contrast that it makes more of a difference if it's done all in one or not. But I just love it. I mean, I really love it. I love the tie being a little bit higher. Just different, just a little different, but this was the inspiration. This is Akris from Neiman Marcus. Beautiful dress, top, whichever you want it to be. And I love that you get to pick how you want it and you get to customize it in all these different ways. So the new fabrics we put up earlier today, this black ribbing, it's just a beautiful black ribbing. I just absolutely love it. And then the white is just the cotton that's been up. So the goal is to have happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.